Okay, so I'm going to have a go at cartoonising a photo of a face. I'm going to pick a celebrity. So I'm going to go with Justin Bieber. So I'm going to search. I'm going to find the image. Justin Bieber. Bosh. I'm going to pick that one and I'm going to select it. Lovely. There he is. Okay, and the tool I'm going to use is I'm going to come to the line tools. I'm going to select the line. I'm going to pick curve. And what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start cutting out each different colored area, each facial feature, each bit of shading, dark areas, light areas, everything like that. The first thing I'm going to do is cut out his hair. And you just have to keep clicking, 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 clicking. I'm going to do this really roughly, really quickly, because I've got here's some I made earlier ones in a minute. There's his hair, and it cuts it out so it's blue like that. And then I'm going to cut out his face. Let's pretend I'm doing a really good job. You can zoom in and get the details that you need and so on like that if you're doing it for real. There's his face and so on. And then eventually I'm going to end up with something that looks a little bit like this. I haven't done his ears in this one. So I've done his hair and I've done his face. His ears are here. Let's pretend I've done them too. The next thing I'm going to do to help myself with the next step is I'm going to select each section and I'm going to go to fill color and I'm going to make it transparent so that it's see-through. You can still see the outline of the shape that I've done, but it's actually see-through. There is a shape there. I'll show you that in a minute. So face and hair and ears, going to make transparent. The actual shape of his face and hair is still there. There it is. It would be there. I wouldn't move the image at all because then you don't know where you are, and already I've lost my place and so on. But anyway, once you've done that, you then need, with the tools, let's pretend I haven't moved it and that's all still in place. I'm going to get my tool and I'm going to start cutting out each different, oops, if that goes wrong, you'll have to delete it and do it again because you want a solid shape. There's an eyebrow, and again, I'm just doing it really quickly and really shoddily, so it looks like I'm doing a really terrible job, but I've done a better job in the next section. Eyebrows there, eyes, etc. Even this bit here, can you see it's slightly darker skin, so I would need to have a separate shape for that. Again, really shoddily. And eventually you'll end up with something that looks along those lines. So if you go back, all the light color bits of hair, the shadow here, his teeth, everything I've done. Again, I just did it quickly. I know it looks pretty terrifying at the moment, but bear with it. So I've cut everything out like that. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to start changing these fill colors. I'm not a fantastic artist. People be much better at this than I am, and you can use the custom colors too. Say, for example, his lips. I'm going to select the lip and the fill color. I'll go for a pink color like that, and I'll do the other lip, a pink color as well. There we are. Oh, that's slightly the wrong color. His teeth, for example, I'm obviously going to make white. His eyeballs, I'll make white. His skin color, I'll just go for this peach shade, and I can start adding in the shading. For example, you remember if I go back, it was there's a slightly darker bit of shading here. So I've picked the lighter shade of pink for his whole face. So for the side there, I'll pick the next darkest one there, and it's added that little bit of shading in like that. Keep doing that for the whole thing. It's quite fiddly, it's quite time consuming, but eventually you'll end up with something that looks possibly like that. Now, again, I know it looks pretty terrifying and looks a bit naff at the moment, but I have just done a quick job. I've done everything that I can, but the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of the photo. So I'm going to delete the image. I'm going to get rid of it. There it is. It's gone. So I'm left with what I've actually cartoonized. It still doesn't look particularly brilliant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the whole thing like that. everything's selected, all the shapes, and then I'm going to get rid of the lines. So I'm going to line color up here at the top, line color, and I make them transparent. Come off, and then I'm left with this cartoon. Okay, so maybe mine's a little bit light, but you can see that's kind of the image that you're left with eventually. People who are much better at art than I am and have more time will be able to do a much better job, but that's essentially how it works. There's a really good video on YouTube of someone making a Game of Thrones character, I forget which one, so check that out. All right, thanks.